Welcome to From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers, a podcast brought to you by College Recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career, and hosted by Work Defined. Join our AI co-hosts as they dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Let's get your career started.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're tackling something that if you're involved in hiring or talent acquisition, you've definitely felt this.
Oh, for sure.
The sheer volume of job applications has just gotten out of control. Today, we're going to cut through that noise, and we have some really insightful research, including from Dr. John Sullivan, that details what is basically a full-blown crisis, all driven by AI.
It's a huge shift, and it's happening so fast. I mean, applications are up, a staggering 45% year over year?
45%.
Yeah. And the fascinating thing here is the mechanics behind it. This isn't, a sign of a super engaged workforce all of a sudden.
Right.
It's almost all because of these sophisticated software tools, these bots that are just designed to flood applicant tracking systems.
Okay, let's unpack that right away because that's a really critical point. We're not just talking about like a candidate using ChatGPT to polish a resume.
No.
This is a whole agent economy built around automating the submission itself.
Exactly. The core of the problem is the sheer volume. Get this. For as little as $13 a week, a job seeker can get an automated robot that sends out 50 resumes.
50 a day.
50 resumes. Every single day. That's thousands a month. And the whole system is built to just exploit how simple online job boards are.
And the data is showing, this is just picking up speed, the projection is that in the next year, these agents are on track to actually double the number of spam resumes companies get.
It's moving way beyond just an annoyance. It's a full-on operational crisis.
And we should probably define what we mean by spam here, because it's not what you might think.
That's a great point. It's not, a high school kid applying for a CEO job. A spammed resume, in this context, is a generic application sent by an AI to maybe hundreds of companies based on what the algorithm thinks is a rough fit.
A rough fit. So it's all about volume, not relevance.
Completely. And that rough fit AI, it ignores the three things that actually matter in hiring. Well, it ignores actual qualifications, first of all. Then true cultural fit. And maybe most importantly, whether the candidate is even genuinely interested in that specific role.
So these are just little chance resumes that take zero effort from the candidate, but chew up so much human time on the other end.
You got it.
And that really defines our mission for this deep dive. We're going to shift away from the common practice of trying to spot these things after they're in your system.
Which is pretty ineffective, frankly.
Right. The focus has to be on prevention. We have to move from just sorting reactively to blocking proactively.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the urgency comes from the internal costs. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a systemic failure. And it hits everything: talent, quality, morale, even the company's legal risk.
Yeah, the sources list a ton of these expensive hidden consequences. And this is where it gets really interesting, this domino effect of all that volume.
Well, when your systems get clogged, the first thing to go is the assessment process. The candidate rankings just become totally unreliable. And crucially, the sources show that top candidates, the ones who actually took the time to write a good application, they feel ignored.
Ghosted.
They feel ghosted, yeah. Because their one perfect application is buried under a pile of 500 AI submissions.
And that means it takes longer to fill the roles. And if you're taking 2 extra weeks, you're losing those top people to your competitors who are moving faster.
It's a direct talent drain. And then you have the cost inside the company, which people often forget about. Recruiter burnout.
Oh, I can only imagine.
When you ask recruiters to sift through 45% more junk, they get overworked, they get stressed, and then they start making mistakes on really critical hiring decisions. It's not sustainable.
And there's a legal side to this too, right?
A huge one. Every single extra application you get, even if it's spam, it opens you up to another potential discrimination lawsuit. You're just creating this massive data burden and legal jeopardy for no reason.
And the hiring managers must hate it.
They get so frustrated. They see these slates of low-quality candidates, and they become reluctant to even open a new job rec. It actually stops the company's growth.
But the ultimate hit, and this is the stat from the sources that just blew my mind, is the impact on the quality of hire.
It's a scary number.
62% of companies have had to fire new hires after they realized their skills didn't match their AI-inflated resumes.
62%.
That is massive. So how is the AI inflating the resume? Is it just like fancy words?
It's way more aggressive than that. The AI is programmed to basically reverse engineer your job description. It pulls out all the buzzwords and skills, and then it just fabricates convincing results.
Makes things up.
Oh, yeah. It'll overstate their role in past projects. So a junior analyst suddenly looks like they led a huge company-wide project.
Yeah.
They pass the screening, they somehow get through the interview, and then they fail on the job.
That failure rate is all the proof you need that trying to detect this stuff after the fact just isn't working. It's too late.
Precisely. That's why prevention is everything. Trying to use your AI to spot their AI is this time-consuming arms race you can't win. You have to stop them at the front door.
Which brings us to the first and I think most dramatic solution from the sources. And this is one that gets people talking, the pay-to-apply approach.
Right. Charging a small application fee.
It immediately creates this barrier for the bots, right? The goal is to weed out the non-serious people and get actual job seekers to focus on jobs they really want.
And we're looking at a small fee, usually between $10 and $25, just enough to create some skin in the game.
And this might sound kind of revolutionary or controversial now, but putting money in the hiring process, that's not new at all.
No. The sources give great historical context here. Back in the 90s, airlines like Northwest did this exact thing to deal with their application flood. And it's still used today by police and fire departments to help pay for all the candidate assessments.
And you even see it outside of recruiting. Like the research mentioned Kaiser, the hospital chain. They found that a tiny $10 fee was enough to get people to be more deliberate about using non-critical healthcare services.
The principle is identical. The fee encourages commitment.
Hello, this is Michael Vandervoort from the Drive-Thru HR podcast, where we discuss ideas, trends, and activities that impact HR, talent, HR technology in the workplace. Our focus is on expanding knowledge and igniting curiosity as we hear directly from people who are shaping the future of the HR industry. Join us.
So how does this actually stop the AI agents?
It's a two-pronged attack on their business model. First, most of these AI agents are built to game free systems. They just don't have the ability to pay.
They hit a paywall and just stop.
Exactly. They can't integrate with a credit card or a digital wallet. But second, even if they could, the cost would become insane. Remember, their whole value is sending 50 applications a day.
For a cheap weekly fee.
Right. If every one of those costs $10, the candidate would be spending $500 a day. It just completely destroys the economics of the spam bot.
Whereas a real job seeker, applying to one or two jobs they care about, isn't going to be bothered by a $10 fee. They see it as an investment.
And the sources mention ways to make this fair, like refunding the fee if the candidate gets an interview.
So it's only a barrier for the spammers. The serious candidates get their money back. It's a pretty elegant solution.
And it's legal in most places, except for California, we should note. Plus, that money can go right back into the recruiting budget, which is a nice bonus.
Okay, so moving to solution number 2. This one is less controversial, but still very proactive.
Yeah.
Just limit the number of applications one person can submit.
This goes right at the heart of the spamming agent's value, doesn't it? The agent is only useful if it can send tons of applications.
Exactly. If your company puts a hard limit, say 2 applications per person per month, that $13 a week bot suddenly looks a lot less attractive.
But the sources say you have to enforce this with a real penalty. What does that look like?
It means you have to automate it. The suggestion is to automatically eliminate all resumes from a candidate who breaks the rule. It's about setting clear boundaries. You make the system easy for humans and impossible for bots.
Okay, we've covered the big structural changes. Let's move to the last 3 solutions, which are more about using the tools we already have. Kick us off with number 3.
Solution number 3 is all about leveraging a channel that is naturally resistant to spam. Employee referrals.
We all know referrals are great, but why are they such a strong defense against AI spam specifically?
Because they just bypass the whole problem. Referred candidates are, measurably better on almost every metric. They're more likely to get interviewed, more likely to get hired.
And they're pre-screened.
They're pre-screened by one of your own employees who has a personal stake in the recommendation. There is almost zero chance a referred application is from a spam bot. It's your safest, highest quality channel.
So by maximizing referrals, you naturally rely less on the public-facing application forms where all the bots are hanging out?
It's your secure channel in this new environment.
All right, solution 4 is about reducing your exposure where these agents live and breathe, limiting posts on easy apply job boards.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a technical point, but it's really important. A lot of the big job boards, the source specifically calls out LinkedIn's Easy Apply and Indeed's Quick Apply. They're the main targets.
Because it's just one click.
It's one click, which is great for a person, but it's a huge vulnerability for an employer right now.
Yeah.
The tech behind those buttons is a simple public API. It's like leaving your front door wide open for a bot that's designed to just hit that door over and over with resume data.
So the solution isn't just about being on fewer boards, it's about plugging a specific technical hole.
It is. You either don't post on those boards or you go in and make your jobs ineligible for that one-click feature. You're simply opting out of the mechanism that the AI relies on to work at scale.
It's a pragmatic defense. Okay, finally, solution number 5. This one uses tech we see all over the internet.
Yeah.
The I am not a robot verification.
KPCHA. It's a classic defense. The AI agents we're talking about, they're built to handle text and simple forms. They're not built for human-like judgment.
Like picking out all the crosswalks or buses in a picture.
Exactly. You add a tool like Google's Recap TCHA, and it forces the software to prove it's human. It's a tiny inconvenience for a real person, but it's a massive wall for the current automated software.
And the new versions are even smarter, right? They track your mouse movements and things like that.
Yeah, the adaptive versions analyze behavior to confirm you're a person. It's a small but really effective hurdle that these spamming agents just aren't designed to clear.
You know, the source makes it clear that this huge 45% spike is really a problem of the last 6 months or so. It's that new. But the solutions are here now.
They are. I mean, we've covered a huge shift, that 45% volume increase driven by these cheap AI agents, and 5 proactive ways to stop it. We looked at big fixes like application limits in that pay-to-apply model, and then tech defenses like using referrals and kept TCHA.
And this brings up a really important question that kind of summarizes this whole deep dive. A lot of companies, about 78% of them, are already trying to detect AI use.
Right. They're checking for it.
But focusing on prevention instead of detection is the only thing that actually protects the quality of your workforce and your budget. As that 62% failure rate proves, detection is just too little, too late.
The time for playing defense after the fact is over. The sources make a really strong case that it's time to go on offense.
So as we wrap up, here's a final provocative thought for you to think about. If these AI agents can send out 50 resumes a day for $13 a week, and it's creating this huge crisis for employers, what does that mean for the job boards themselves? Especially the platforms whose whole business model is built on promoting high application counts, like those easy apply systems. Are employers now basically incentivized to leave the very platforms that made them so big? And what happens to that whole ecosystem if its best customers start opting out?
That is a fascinating dynamic to watch unfold in the next year.
We hope this deep dive into AI-driven spam gives you what you need to start being proactive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
This has been From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers. A podcast brought to you by College Recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. Each episode, we dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Subscribe to this podcast for free now, so you don't miss an episode, and visit www.collegerecruiter.com to find your next great job.